Okay, so a really fun project you're about to start. Say what you see. You pick a topic and visually represent them, kind of like a photo hunt where the person you show this image to will try to guess that topic. So the example provided was bands. You try to visually represent 25 bands, or 15 bands, I'm sorry. It's kind of a fun project, get you a lot of great practice with Photoshop. Let me go over some of the key things that you want to make sure you're doing. So you definitely want to start with the base photo, one that you're going to build everything off of, one that has a lot of elements that you can start hiding things into and making look realistic. The key thing is to make it look as real as possible with all the lighting and effects. Um, One of the first steps you're going to want to do is make it an 11 by 17 photo. So it's important that you set your document to that size. So I'm going to do 17 inches wide, 11 inches tall, make it 300 resolution. And it puts a crop window out there for me. I can move it and adjust it. There's going to be a little sliver taken off, so I got to decide where I want that little sliver cut from, probably the top of the picture. Hit return. The reason we're making it 11 by 17 is because we're going to put it onto a document that's that size later on. So hit the check mark. Now we're good. 17 wide, 11 tall. You can go the other way as well if you want it to be a vertical image. Next step is you're going to start bringing stuff in. So my first band or musician, I'm going to do Eminem. So I want to find a picture of Eminem first of all. You're probably going to want to cut away the background. We know there's a lot of different ways to cut. You can do a layer mask. You can do some of your other selection options, magic wand being one of them. So if I bring Eminem into here and I want a magic wand, the white background, the key thing is to make it look as real as possible. So if the magic wand is not doing a good job, you're going to have to make adjustments, use the mask or another way to kind of do your cutout. Okay, so right here you can see it's cutting out some of his feet, which I don't really want to have happen. So I may just kind of fix this portion here on my own. Remember, if you're doing a layer mask, you can zoom in and add your layer mask. Paint away the portion that you want to remove on your mask. Okay. If you need to change up your hardness or softness of your brush, all that can be done. Okay. But the whole point is to have nice, clean cutouts. Make it look as nice as possible. You're going to need to do a lot of like sizing of objects. So when you have your objects selected, make sure that you have your transform controls here, that you can go and size them down and everything. I want to put my Eminem here. I would get all the items in first, each of them on a separate layer. Name it so you don't get them confused. And once you have everything in, then you start doing lighting effects. So this one obviously does not look real because the rest of the picture is kind of dark. So on this layer, I may want to go in here, do some adjustments to my brightness. Maybe darken that up a little bit. Another step, you'll want to have a shadows layer where you can kind of paint in your own shadows. Okay, I can use a brush, a very low opacity brush. And if I zoom in close here, with the very soft edge, I can kind of just paint. All I'm doing is painting black here to get a darker brush. The other option you have to darken up the actual object yourself, you have a dodge and burn tool. Burn darkens items. So if you are trying to get a shadow on one portion, you can do that. You can change the exposure up here, so if you want it not to be so dark, or if you only want to start darkening up the shadows, just to make it look a little bit more matching to what the rest of the photo should be. Okay. So you're gonna get a lot of practice with some of the editing features in Photoshop. Another couple key things, you have to put an emblem on here that kind of has a title of your project. The final project is going to be placed into InDesign, and on a second page you're going to have, excuse me, on a second page you're going to have a list of all the bands that you've included, or whatever the item is you chose. So there should be 15 when it's all done. Best of luck to you, and let me know if you have any questions.